Frustration's evident as NOMA delegates meet. A local MPP pushes for changes in the bear hunt. And several officers honored for acts of courage.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Frustration with the provincial government over some key issues in the region were front and center today.
Municipal politicians are gathered in the city for the Northwestern Ontario Municipal Association Conference. In the short time allotted for questions to the Minister of Northern Development and Mines, a barrage of concerns were raised over the Ring of Fire and energy security. But as Dennis Ward reports, few answers were provided.
Not moving fast enough is what I think we all feel here in Northwestern Ontario.
Marathon Mayor Rick Dumas was just one of a handful of politicians raising concerns about the speed with which some major issues are progressing. During the Q&A with Minister of Northern Development Michael Gravel, Dumas questioned when the Ring of Fire was going to move ahead. He called provincial investment in the project a no-brainer.
If they invested in the road and the infrastructure network into the Ring of Fire and the hydro transmission availability for the Ring of Fire and the First Nations communities get them off diesel, the economic opportunities are great. The potential for job creation is in the thousands. The billions of dollars coming back in tax revenue, the investment will be paid back in short term.
How long does it take to get it right?
NOMA President and Kenora Mayor Dave Canfield feels there is too much indecision on the part of the province and not just about the Ring of Fire. Canfield says there are other mines expected to start production in the next few years, but he worries the energy infrastructure isn't there. The NOMA president says the Energy Task Force has itself identified over 20,000 megawatts of water power that could be generated.
We have, I guess, dawdled too long on the whole energy issue and creating these opportunities. Connect the grids, connect the dots, as our conference is saying today, and build these power plants. There's a lot of water opportunity. These things, they could have been in the process of being built now, and then when the mining opportunities happen, it's there. Until then, you can export power almost anywhere you want.
Gravel believes the Ring of Fire and other mining projects will happen and will transform the economy of the region, and that transformation is why he thinks municipal politicians are frustrated, and he says he understands that. But Gravel calls the process complicated and complex.
It's about companies making decisions as to how they want the transportation route to move forward. The province recognizing we need to play a very significant role in that. The province recognizing we need to make sure the energy needs are met for this project as well as other projects in Northwestern Ontario. And that commitment I made very clear today is something that we feel incredibly strongly about.
Dennis Ward, TBT News.
And while many feel the development of the Ring of Fire isn't moving fast enough, Northern Policy Institute President Charles Sirtwill suggests that it's moving at the rate it's supposed to. At the NOMA conference today, he said the concerned parties might benefit from looking at similar-sized projects in other provinces. He's only been in the position a little over 2 weeks, but Sirtwill is already diving into issues such as the Ring of Fire development. He says natural resource projects often take a long time to reach maturity. There's also a significant amount of infrastructure needed beforehand. It was suggested to look at provinces such as Manitoba and British Columbia and compare the growth of similar projects. He says politicians often sully natural resource projects.
The danger is you find the first discovery, or you even get the first positive geological results, and all of a sudden you've got a minister out there saying it's a transformational change. So politicians are really the authors of their own misfortune on this. They tend to talk a little too passionately, a little too early, and then they spend a lot of the next 3 to 5 years kind of backtracking from that.
Sirtwill remarked the goal of any think tank is to deliver the relevant information to the taxpayers so they can make informed decisions.
A Thunder Bay MPP will try to do something regional politicians and hunting groups have been attempting for almost 15 years. Bill Morrow says he plans to bring forward a private member's bill that will significantly increase opportunities for hunting bears. Morrow says the black bear population has been an issue in the north since the spring hunt was canceled by the Progressive Conservatives in 1999. He calls it a public safety issue, but also feels an expanded hunt could create economic activity. Morrow feels the time is right to bring back the issue because of the changed landscape with Premier Kathleen Wynne, but he doesn't exactly know what the expanded hunt would entail just yet.
If it ends up being a spring hunt, so be it. We still need to deal with the issue from the environmental side of the perception, at least, that there's an orphaning of cubs through a spring hunt. Many people don't believe that's the case. They believe that the Conservative approach to this in '99 was politically motivated. Nevertheless, it's an issue that's still on the table. So I've used language at this point specifically to try and give me the best opportunity to move it forward.
Moreau says he will further define his bill when he brings it forward. He expects that to happen in the next few weeks. And it looks like the Tories may also be on board. Last weekend at the PC's policy convention, the party decided it will also look at reinstating the spring bear hunt. The Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Centre continues to hold public information meetings in hopes of keeping locals up to date with the latest on the cyclotron project. Students gathered today at Confederation College to hear about the effects and operation of the unit, which will produce medical isotopes. Mike Campbell is the Director of Research Operations at the Regional Hospital. He says they plan to submit the license for the building in the next week, and approximately 6 to 8 weeks later, they plan to start construction. The cyclotron is expected to be up and running by June of 2015, and Campbell says the unit is going to draw huge attention.
The machine that we are really does put us on the map. It lets us have a viable commercial operation where if we were to go with a smaller cyclotron, we wouldn't have that opportunity. By having the cyclotron that we have here, we have the opportunity to really help medical research, and as well it will help support the ongoing programs at the Research Institute and the hospital.
Campbell says they will continue holding public meetings in hopes that more people across the city will have the information they want.
It's a situation that has area patients frustrated, and now it's getting attention at Queen's Park. NDP leader Andrea Horvath called on Health Minister Deb Matthews to find out what's going to be done about the Thunder Bay Regional Health Science Centre and the fact it's been forced into code gridlock 15 times since January. Horvath notes patient overcrowding isn't anything new here in Thunder Bay. She says the hospital is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and that people who are looking to receive care are stuck on gurneys and in hallways. Horvath points out that while the problem was supposed to have been fixed 9 months ago by the local health integration network, the situation has only grown worse.
And their hospital is full. Is this the government's idea of transforming healthcare in the North, Speaker?
We've built 668 new long-term care beds. We've redeveloped 134 beds, Speaker. Through the Centre for Excellence for Integrated Senior Services, we are in the process now of constructing a 544-bed long-term care home in Thunder Bay. We're investing more in community care, Speaker, so that people can get the care they need in the most appropriate place, home, whenever possible.
Answer. Matthews added this is a work in progress and that she plans to continue to focus on relieving ALC pressures at the hospital. She promises that people living in northwestern Ontario will receive the care they deserve.
Premier Kathleen Wynne says assisted suicide is not an easy issue, but it's on the minds of many after an emotional video plea from a prominent Toronto doctor. The federal government has said it doesn't want to reopen the issue of legalized suicide for debate, but Wynne says that's exactly what's needed. She says Ottawa can't ignore the fact that people are talking the issue, in part due to the emotional video made by Dr. Donald Lowe, known for his work during the 2003 SARS crisis. Lowe made the video 8 days before his death from a brain tumor and pleaded with opponents of assisted suicide to reconsider.
Whether you're a police officer or a civilian, it takes plenty of courage to rescue someone from a life-threatening situation. Still, it happens on a daily basis, but sometimes those people don't get the recognition they deserve. Today, the Ontario Provincial Police ensured that some local heroes, both young and old, got their due. Matt Scooby has more.
Almost a year ago to the day, 14-year-old Cale Greer and his friends Chris Mawa and Cohen Taylor couldn't find Cale's little sister Kelsey at the Big Eagle Lodge near Dryden. Their immediate thought was to run and check the swimming dock.
Just as we touched the dock, she jumped in the water. She had this much of her above the water by the time we got there. And Cohen grabbed a big fishing net and scooped Kelsey up. Chris ran over to go and grab her. Then Cohen came and grabbed Chris because he was just about to fall in after her.
While they admit it was scary, some quick thinking saved Kelsey's life.
My mom told me that if you jumped in with someone that was drowning, they could overcome you and pull you down. I'm really proud of everybody, and I'm really happy that everybody helped and that something bad didn't happen.
The boys' heroic act was one of about 20 recognized by the OPP at an awards ceremony. Eunice Salages was another. She and her employer were driving back to Thunder Bay when the vehicle's engine compartment caught fire near Ignace. With the help of an off-duty soldier and another bystander, the three rescued the man, who was a quadriplegic, from the burning wreck. She says it was just instinct.
You do what you can. I love him to death. I've worked with him for 5 years. Like I say, I unhooked him, we grabbed him out. My job, and aside from my job, if it would have been a stranger, I would have done the same. You do what you can, the best you can with what you've got.
Deputy Commissioner of the OPP, Vince Hawks, calls it a highlight of his job to meet people like this and hear their stories. He says it always renews his faith in humanity.
Members of the community that risk their own lives to save someone else's life, that is remarkable. That's what humanity is all about, and it really adds to what public safety is all about, because police, we can't do everything all by ourselves. You need people of the public to come forward and do this type of thing and assist, and the people we recognize today, as you heard, are very remarkable.
Remarkable and humble.
It's a very, very big honor to get the award.
Matt Scooby, TBT News.
Thunder Bay Police have wrapped up their investigation into a death on Archibald Street that was initially called suspicious. Postmortem conducted yesterday has determined there was no criminality involved. Police were called early Tuesday morning when a non-responsive female was found in the Southside residence. The name of the woman has not been released.
A suspect has now been apprehended in connection with a series of incidents yesterday that included a brief police pursuit. Police say they arrested a 27-year-old man last evening who they believe was driving the vehicle responsible for several traffic infractions, including a couple of collisions. He's facing 2 counts of dangerous driving, flight from police, and public mischief.
Thunder Bay Roofing Company has been fined $50,000 for a workplace accident last year in Sault Ste. Marie. An employee with Lakehead Roofing and Metal Cladding Limited failed to shorten his safety line when he went to help 2 other workers on another part of the roof. A concrete slab broke underfoot and the worker fell 14 meters before the fall arrest system engaged. He suffered serious leg injuries. The company pleaded guilty to failing to ensure the fall arrest system was arranged properly.
The Thunder Bay Field Naturalists Club is celebrating after a huge donation to their local nature reserves. 200 acres of land in the William Bog has been left to the city by the family of the late William and Olga Dodd. The bog is located north of the Parkdale subdivision and west of the Thunder Bay Expressway and is considered to be a unique natural wetland. The Field Naturalists had previously received 7 small land donations in the William Bog, totaling about 12 acres. Nature Reserves Chair Susan Bryan says this extra land means they can now control and preserve about a quarter of the area.
Well, the Thunder Bay Field Naturalists are delighted. We've been working for years to protect the bog, so this is the first really big breakthrough for us, and we're really thrilled.
Because the bog is a natural wetland, the group won't have to pay any taxes on it. Bryan says it's a bit difficult to get to. That requires boots or hip waders, but she thinks it can be used for school field trips and other excursions. She believes those from other regions will come as well to see the bog's wide variety of birds and rare orchids.
There is one in particular that people come from southern Ontario and call us up and say, where can I see this orchid? Well, here it is right in our own city. It's wonderful. There are also some rare butterflies, some insect-eating plants like pitcher plants, sticky sundews, bladderworts, Arctic plants. There's some rare dragonflies in there. So it's quite a mixture. It's a unique place.
Bryan says anyone else wishing to donate land can contact the Field Naturalists Club. They're a registered charity and income tax receipts will be provided to all donors.
The LCBO is getting ready to build a new outlet in Thunder Bay. The liquor store planned for the parking lot at Arthur Street Marketplace will be the largest one in northwestern Ontario. Traffic cones have been set up to outline where the new 14,000 square foot store will be constructed. LCBO spokesperson Sally Ricci says it's expected to open in the spring of 2015. However, because that date is a long way off, she says there may be some unforeseen circumstances or delays. The LCBO currently has a store less than a kilometer away at 620 West Arthur Street. Ricci says she can't confirm yet whether that store will be replaced by the new one. Meanwhile, 2 of Thunder Bay's 4 beer stores are seeing temporary closures this month. The outlet on Cumberland Street has been closed for a week as crews remove mold and asbestos from the building. That store will reopen tomorrow, the same day that the beer store on Red River Road will be closed for similar remediation work. Brewers retail spokesperson Jeff Wilcox says they work with their unions to identify issues with mold and asbestos, and around 30 stores around Ontario are cleaned up each year. He says one of the other 2 local beer stores will likely be closed next year for similar issues.